Welcome on board Discovery Princess, the beautiful Royal Class cruise ship owned and operated by Princess Cruises. This ship launched to the market in March 2022 and has a total capacity of 3,660 passengers. Those passengers are accommodated across 1,830 staterooms, and in this video today I am taking you on a full tour of this stunning cruise ship. If you enjoy this video today, please give it your like down below, and also think about subscribing to the channel and coming with me on so many more ships. Welcome to the first venue on our tour today, and that brings us to the Piazza, all the way down on deck number 5 of the ship. Every single Princess cruise ship that I have been on boasts a stunning main atrium, and Discovery Princess is absolutely no exception. They even have water features in here, so that as the ship moves and you relax in this environment, you can always hear running water. This space serves as a key entertainment venue on board. You'll find various games in here, both during the day and at night. You'll also find live music, and you'll find that this is one of the main dance floors on board, so make sure you make yourself familiar with the Piazza. Coming off of the Piazza, you will find a number of venues, the first being the International Cafe. This is the round-the-clock dining option, so it is open 24 hours a day and is ready to serve you fruit, vegetables, sandwiches, cakes, you name it. And directly across the atrium, you will find the Salty Dog Gastropub. This is the first speciality dining option that we need to speak about on this tour today, which means that to dine in here, you should expect to pay a little bit more over and above your cruise fare. I can highly recommend coming in here for a burger and a beer, but later in this video, I'll show you how you can get some Salty Dog food free of charge, so stay tuned. Right next door, you'll find Gelato, which is the onboard ice cream shop. You can opt to get ice cream by the cone, or if you feel like treating yourself, you can go for something a little bit more special. Feel free to pause the video here and check out the menu for the Gelato shop. And right next door, you'll find the first of our Princess shops. While I was on board, this was an alcohol duty-free store, and right across the Piazza from there, you'll find the Good Spirits at Sea bar. This is one of my favourite bars on board Discovery Princess, and truly was a fully immersive experience. You may notice as the camera pans round that there are some television monitors quite high up towards the roof. That is because you could come in here, order your drink, and then they would broadcast the bartender making your drink while talking through speakers about what it is that they're making. Here's the output. The drinks in here were absolutely gorgeous. They were some of the best drinks that we had on the entire ship. The next venue down here is the Internet Cafe. This one does speak for itself. You'll find a number of PCs in here, available for use throughout your cruise, and you'll also find printers should you need to use them. It is worth adding that although these computers are here to be used, you do require an internet package, so make sure if you are planning to use the computers, you buy an internet plan to go alongside. The next part of the ship to show you just along the hall are the shore excursions desks and the guest services desks. Here you can book any shore excursions or speak to guest services about anything you might need help with while on board the ship. This is also where you'll find Sabatini's, the Italian restaurant, but unfortunately I was unable to film that during my cruise. At the end of this hallway, all the way at the very front of the ship, you'll find the Lotus Spa featuring the Enclave, which is what they refer to their thermal suite as. When you come into the spa, you will find a whole array of towels. I can definitely recommend the chilled towels down at the bottom, and then you'll be shown into your changing room. In here you'll find a number of lockers, so don't worry about leaving your phone on display, and then you'll be brought into here. This space, honestly, is one of the nicest thermal suites that I've seen at sea for quite a long time. The facilities in here are still pretty new given the age of the ship, but you've got your jacuzzi pool, your heated beds, a whole array of steam rooms and saunas, and everything was operational, nothing was broken during my cruise, and it seemed to be very, very well maintained. Now, if a thermal suite isn't up your street and you would rather relax in one of the treatment rooms on board, then you will be delighted to learn that there are a whole host of options available to you. This is just one, but they also have massage rooms and various other treatment options available. Or you could head here into the salon on board. This side of the room is where you can come to get, for example, your nails done. You can then head over to the other side of this shelving here, which is where you'll find the hairdresser, so you can get your hair done in here for formal night. Or you can head over this side to get your feet done. The options really are endless. Up next, we enter our first included dining option on board this ship, and that is the Juno dining room. Each of the main dining rooms on board Discovery Princess is named after a different Alaskan port of call. This one being Juno. Up next, I'll show you the Ketchikan dining room, and then we'll finish by showing the Skagway dining room. The dining room venues in here are pretty similar. The main difference really is the colour scheme. Each of them have a main feature table. You can see the Juno dining room feature table at the end of your screen here, and that's where they'll house various dining events, all during your cruise. Moving up one deck, welcome to the next dining room, and that is Ketchikan. You'll hopefully already notice some similarities to the venue we were in a second ago. Let me now take you through and show you the feature table in here. Personally, I think it's significantly more modern in the Ketchikan dining room, primarily due to the lighting options used. Those bright LEDs really modernise this space. One of the highlights of Ketchikan are the views. You're right at the very back of the ship. On to our third main dining room option on board, and that is the Skagway dining room remaining on deck 6. You will notice that all of the main dining rooms are located in very close proximity to each other, which would probably suggest they're all being served by the same kitchen. I didn't find the food differed across these dining rooms when speaking to other cruisers. You can see the feature table that I mentioned earlier directly in front of you now. I do think that the Skagway dining room is the most traditional looking, just due to the way that they've used so much wood in here. I think it feels like a much older ship than it actually is when you're in here. The next venue to show you is the Future Cruise Centre. If, while you're on board, you would like to cash in on some of the additional incentives available for booking your next cruise, then this is exactly where you will come. If, however, you don't want to book your cruise and you want to continue to just enjoy yours, you may wish to do that in Crooner's Bar. In here, you can expect a really calm environment, usually accompanied by a live pianist. I can absolutely recommend, if you are on an itinerary with beautiful scenery, for example Alaska, and slightly colder weather, try and get up early and grab one of these chairs and look out of those glass windows and just soak in the views. Just along, remaining in the main atrium, is the Ocean Terrace Seafood Bar. In here you will find freshly prepared sushi alongside other fish dishes from late afternoon into the evening. Personally, I can't recommend this venue because I didn't try it, but what I can recommend are the views. Look at how absolutely stunning this is. Next up, we're talking jazz. Let me show you inside the onboard jazz bar. Now this is take 5, and you'll find this on deck number 6, just off the main atrium. This is one of my favourite spaces on board for late night entertainment, because if you want to dance, yeah, okay, you can, but if you'd rather just, like me, relax with a drink in a quieter part of the room, then you absolutely can do that as well. This venue is also where Princess tend to host their loyalty drinks receptions, so if you are lucky enough to be higher up on the loyalty ladder, you may be invited in here for a private function. And just next door, you will find the Princess Casino. Princess are very good at providing large casinos, especially on these Royal Class cruise ships, and Discovery Princess is absolutely no exception to that. In here you will find a large array of table games. You will also find so many slot machines all the way around this room. I quite often get feedback following release of my ship tours where people wish that I didn't pan the camera around quite so quickly and just spent a bit of time walking around the casino so that they could understand what games await them when they get on board. So that's exactly what you're seeing now. Let me switch and show you some of the slot machines. I find this environment just so good from a casino point of view, because I've been on so many ships that have hardly any machines, and then you come on these American ships and yeah, the casinos are really top notch. So if you enjoy gaming, then make yourself at home. Next door, you will find the Churchill Smoking Lounge. This is the onboard cigar smoking venue. It's worth noting that you cannot smoke cigarettes in here, cigars only. If you would like to smoke your cigarettes, then you must do that in one of the outdoor designated smoking areas. Moving up one deck, and we are now in one of the most stunning spaces on board. This is the outdoor deck space, and what makes this stunning are the views in some of the parts of the world that you're going to be spending time on this ship. I don't have any more words to say for this space other than look at Alaska. Coming back inside all the way at the front of the ship, let me now show you the Princess Theatre. This theatre is absolutely remarkable. I see quite a lot of cruise ship theatres where you think, okay, it's just a theatre. Everything about this one is just beautiful. Even the way they light it during the day, it is such an impressive venue. What I would recommend if you are coming to see a show here, avoid this section down at the front and aim for the section roughly where those red floor lights are or above, because if you come any further forward than that, you're on floor level seating and you may struggle to see over the person in front of you. In here you will find a whole host of different entertainment, whether that be the magic shows that take place on board. We also had game shows like Deal or No Deal in here, and we also had productions from the Princess Cruises entertainment team. Absolutely brilliant. And if you'd like to check out what's on, just head to the huge TV screens at the front door. Leaving the theatre behind, we now enter the shops of Princess. When you enter here, you'll find the shopping desk immediately on the left-hand side, and then you enter what feels like a miniature shopping mall. I quite often find on cruise ships that the shops can feel quite spread out, or they maybe just feel part of a corridor, but the fact that this has all been branded very differently, yes, you're still in a corridor, but it does feel like you're in a little shopping mall. I really liked it. There's a whole host of shops in here, whether it be memorabilia from the ports of call that you're visiting. So when I was cruising Alaska, you could get various Alaskan wildlife stuffed toys, you could get Alaskan clothing. You'll also find Princess branded clothes in here. You'll also find jewellery, you'll also find fragrance. There's loads on offer in these shops, and it's the perfect way to spend a few hours of your sea day, especially if you're cruising in colder weather. Next door to the shops, this is Bellini's Bar, and this is an absolutely gorgeous bar, primarily due to the view. Right now we are on the top floor of the atrium, so what better place to come and people watch with a lovely Bellini than Bellini's Bar. If you, like me, enjoy people watching and you like a good view, then just head over to the opposite side of the atrium from Bellini's and you will find this public balcony that looks directly down into this space. I can also really recommend this for a photo opportunity. This ship has got to be one of the most impressively photogenic backdrops I have ever seen. So make sure you come in here, get your photo taken, especially on the smart nights. Now, remaining on deck 7, the next venue to talk about is Gigi's Pizzeria. This is, as the name suggests, the onboard pizzeria, and I absolutely give this place a massive thumbs up. I really enjoy dining at Gigi's on my cruise, and I quite often find it's one of the quieter dining options on board. You can either sit at one of the tables in the dining room or you can sit looking into the kitchen, but however you do it, enjoy. Up next, we are looking at Bistro sur la Mer. Now, it's recently come to light that this venue is being replaced by the Catch by Rudy, but the concept of the restaurant remains the same. This is the onboard seafood fish restaurant. I didn't dine in here, but I did think it was a particularly beautiful space. So if you're more into seafood than me, you may like pulling up a chair at what will now be Rudy's. Moving towards the back of the ship, the next space to talk about is oceanfront. This is where you will find all of your accessories that you can purchase to accompany your medallion technology. If you've never cruised with Princess before, then a medallion is what you're given to track you as you move around the ship. You use it as a wearable to charge things to your room, and you also use it to get on and off the ship. In here, you can get a whole host of accessories, whether it be medallion backing, medallion wristwatches, you name it, you can buy it here. Next up, the Princess Live Cafe. This is the bar venue that goes directly alongside Princess Live. I'll take you over and take you into Princess Live. Now, I would say that if you are trying to use this video to get recommendations for what you should do on your cruise, take it from me, you'll absolutely want to spend some time in here. During my cruise, we found this space would be used for comedy, for game shows, which is what it's set up as at the moment, and perhaps the best use of all was karaoke. I don't know about you, but I can't really think of a better way to spend a few hours than listening to people singing their hearts out at karaoke. I absolutely love it. You'll have to come down early to get a decent seat in here because it does fill from early evening onwards. Just down the hall, you'll find the Crown Grill bar. This bar is associated with the Crown Grill, which I'll take you in and show you shortly, but this is where you'll find one of the quieter spots to relax and enjoy either a pre-dinner or a post-dinner drink. I didn't spend a huge amount of time at this bar, just due to the fact that, generally speaking, there was more life elsewhere, which is more my way of cruising. You'll also find some gorgeous fresh flowers here. These were fresh almost every single night of my cruise. Directly behind the bar, you'll find the Crown Grill. This is the onboard seafood steakhouse restaurant. I did dine in here on one evening of my cruise, and I would absolutely recommend it. You can book this once you get on board, but my big recommendation is don't miss out. All the way at the back of the ship on deck number 7, this is the Vista Lounge. This venue is what becomes the onboard nightclub, and you can expect entertainment in here to go on well into the night. You'll find a whole host of different entertainment on in here. It's not just a nightclub. You'll find different bands in here. During my cruise, we also had the bridge tour that took place here. It's now much more of a virtual presentation rather than an actual tour, but I really, really like how versatile this space is. It can go from being essentially a lecture room for the bridge tour to a nightclub by just flicking off a few lights and turning the music on. It's a really, really gorgeous space, so make sure you add this to your list if you are cruising on board Discovery Princess. The next facility on board the ship to show you is guest laundry. Now, for those who have never cruised before, you might not find this too exciting a facility to spend any time talking about. However, for those of us who are maybe slightly more seasoned cruisers, you will hopefully understand my excitement. There's even detergent in here that's free of charge for you to use during your cruise. This is particularly useful if you want to refresh your clothes at the start of a cruise, or maybe you want to do your laundry before you go home. In this room, you'll find a number of washers, a number of dryers, and also a number of irons and ironing boards. So you don't have to worry about the age-old problem of transporting a shirt or formal wear onto a cruise ship and hoping and praying that it doesn't get creased. Laundry facilities on board cruise ships get such a massive thumbs up from me. I absolutely love them, and on this ship, they were great. Next up, we find ourselves all the way up on deck number 14. This is the concierge lounge on board. If you are lucky enough to be staying in a suite on board, you would have access to this room alongside your concierge, who you would be able to speak to in here, and right next door is the onboard wedding chapel. This is, as the name suggests, the room that you would get married in if you booked your wedding on board Discovery Princess. This room could also be used as a conference room during the day. It is worth noting that all around this wedding chapel are staterooms. Moving up again, welcome to the Sky Pool. The main pool deck on board this ship is on deck number 16. At the moment in these shots, we're just slightly above that on a higher deck, so that you can get a really good look around. The pool on here, I found it to always be pretty quiet, but then I was cruising in Alaska, so the temperature up there was much lower. Now, if you quite enjoy a thrill on a cruise ship, hear me out. Make your way over to the side of the ship on deck number 16 and try out this walkway. I thought it was absolutely brilliant to be able to look down 16 floors right down to the ocean. And why not come up here at night? Because it's one of the most gorgeous pool decks that I've seen for quite a long time. The way they light it up is so lovely. So if you get a warmer night, come and grab a drink and take it in under the stars. In terms of poolside dining, the first one you've got is the Salty Dog Grill. You can pause this video to check out the menu, but think burgers, think hot dogs, think sandwiches. The next dining option you've got is just next door. This is Slice, the pizzeria, and in between Slice and the grill, you'll find the bar. Now this is called The Mix, and that is the cocktail bar on board, and at the other end of the swimming pool, you're going to find the other poolside bar, which is called the Sea View Bar. Directly beside this bar, you'll then find a small venue called Swirls, which not too many people know is there, but that is where you'll get the onboard ice cream. Let's move back inside and back out of the cold. Welcome to the World Fresh Marketplace, which is potentially one of the most impressive onboard buffet venues I've ever seen. I was so taken by this venue. There were loads of chairs. You would never struggle to sit in here. They've also done some really clever things, like put those bar stools in to cram more people into this space. It seems to handle crowds really well. When you enter the buffet, you will be asked to wash your hands using one of the small sinks here, and then let me show you what it looks like when it's all set up and ready to go. I feel that the finish in this venue is just absolutely gorgeous, and all of the white tiling and the way it's lit, it feels like a much more premium venue than an onboard buffet. The fact that Princess have also decided to fully carpet the dining areas is great because it really absorbs the noise element in here. A venue that you must make sure you do not miss up here at the buffet is the onboard pastry shop. This is where you can come during the day to get a coffee or during meal times to get cake. All of these fridges and display units in here will be rammed full of cakes during your mealtime. Take it from me, you can definitely put on a calorie or two up here. Now moving all the way to the back of the ship, you will find some outdoor dining, which many people on my cruise didn't know was there, so make sure you check that out. If your weather's warm enough to dine outside, you'll then find a drink station, so plenty of water opportunities here, and then you'll find the Wakeview Bar, which is all the way at the back. Now, the Wakeview Bar looks right onto the Wakeview pool. This pool is not large enough for swimming, but it is wonderfully refreshing, especially when the views look like this. If you're taking this ship to Alaska, please have the best cruise. I absolutely fell in love with that part of the world during my time on board. If you do come out here at night, although you don't have the scenery, it is still a really beautiful part of the ship to just sit, take in the noise of the wake, the noise of the water in the pool, sip your cocktail, and just chill out. Let's move back outside and move up one more deck to deck number 17. This is the retreat pool, and this is a much more secluded pool area than what you saw back at the Sky Pool. Here you can expect to find an enclosed pool area in terms of the sides. The roof is still obviously open, and then you've got one bar which you'll find up at the far end, and that is the retreat bar. Let me take you up there and show you that now. We will come back to this space later because there is a wraparound deck here that I want to show you afterwards. Moving further back on this deck, you'll find loads of deck space up above that main sky pool, and this is where you'll also find the hot tubs. I can massively recommend relaxing in one of these hot tubs during sail away, or, as you can see here, watching one of the onboard movies which are displayed on these enormous TV screens on the pool deck. Moving back inside and staying on this deck, heading towards the back of the ship, the next area to discuss are the kids and teens clubs. Princess do operate a pretty comprehensive programme for children on board their ships. I don't show you inside the kids clubs due to the fact I'm a solo traveller and I don't travel with children, but there'll be plenty other channels that you can use to get information on those kids clubs. The next venue just next door is the fitness centre. This is the onboard gym, and you can find this place open from first thing in the morning all the way through into the evening. So if you would rather come and do a workout instead of enjoying the other facilities on board the ship at night, then you absolutely can do that. There's a huge array of cardio equipment. There's also a lot of weight machines, and you can also find here a decent amount of free weights as well. So whatever kind of workout you fancy, you should have absolutely no issues doing it on board Discovery Princess. There's also this element of the gym here, which is a fitness studio, so if you'd like to come to a spin class, get yourself booked in. Okay, let's look outside again on deck number 17. This is the retreat pool deck space. You'll remember a second ago we were down on the ground floor looking at this pool, but let me just speed this up and let me take you for a walk round so that you can see what's on offer here. You've got some cabanas to get a little bit of shade, you've also got some hot tubs, and you've got loads of lounger space. Up here, you'll also find the entrance to the sanctuary. Unfortunately, this was closed during my cruise, so I wasn't able to get in there to show you what it looks like. And from this deck, at the back of the ship, you will get, in my opinion, some of the most stunning views that you will ever get on a cruise ship looking out over that wake. Now, staying at the back, up here you'll find the murals, and you'll also find the jogging track. The murals are quite good if you quite enjoy taking photos for Instagram. You will have so many options up here with loads and loads of pictures all the way around. This is the jogging track that goes all the way around that deck of the ship. Yes, that was just a random member of the public using that as obviously a paid actor. And then in here, you'll find Centre Court. Now this is the onboard sports court that's laid out for a number of different sports. The primary use in here is basketball. You can just come up here at any time of day. You don't have to book this space, and actually you can't book, so you just have to hope that it's available. You'll also find up here this beautiful Discovery mural. I absolutely loved it and actually thought it was a bit of a shame that you found this up within the sports court. But look, that is my full ship tour on board Discovery Princess. I really hope you've enjoyed having a look around this gorgeous cruise ship. If you have, it would be amazing if you'd support my channel by giving it a thumbs up down below, and also clicking subscribe and letting me show you so many more cruise ships going forward. Wherever you are in the world, thank you so much for watching, and I'll hopefully see you in my next video.